Again, a reminder, Garry Harris is the managing director for the Center for Sustainable Communities. We are very interested to hear about your expertise and your thoughts.
Okay. All right. Thanks so much for having me. I am so excited to be here because we've got to excite these folks. And that's where it started at for me. Back in the day, and I still do. I did a lot in STEM education, and we decided to start a energy curriculum at a school in Atlanta called DM Thorough High School and such. So we went in there and said, okay, principal, we want to do this, we want to do the NEAT program, and we want to teach this and this and this and this, and all the stuff about renewables. Except this was back in the mid 2000s. We said this, and we said, okay, we want to partner DM Thorough up with this school over here called Atlanta Technical College, and we want to have a dual degree program, that would take students in this low income area and such, and talk to them on a daily basis in high school about energy, and then have them take college courses as well. So we had that vision way back in the day of ensuring equitable workforce development by partnering and such. And that's one of the keys that we're going to talk about today is partnerships and how to partner and such. But but beyond that, I love the crash parties. So I was at South Face back in the day, shortly after we had this vision about creating this dual degree program and such, and I crashed a party there, and lo and behold, so folks were sitting around the table, and they were creating a collaborative around workforce. So I just sat there, and I sat there the next year, and I sat there the next year, and I sat there the next year and such. And we formed something called the Emerald Cities Collaborative and such. And that was all about high road workforce development, good quality jobs, good quality access, good union jobs into renewable energy. But this wasn't now. This was way back in the late 2000s and such. So what are we talking about here? We're talking about equitable workforce development, and that's all about eliminating racial barriers and such, ensuring that we fill the gaps to ensure access to employment and also wages as well. And we want to ensure that populations are racially represented in these fields. And again, we're looking at emerging technologies. We're looking at solar, wind, but we're also looking at small modular nuclear. We're looking at, as Makara pointed out, building technologies. And the list goes on and on. And all of these opportunities offer great employment opportunities, both on the trade side and such, being an electrician, mechanical, mechanical technician, or plumbing, etc., controls, and then on the professional side, again, everything from an administrative assistant through a scientist and engineer. The world's it's a gambit of opportunity. And there's been significant federal action to help advance these workforce jobs as well in clean energy, which includes the Bipartisan Infrastructure Law, which funneled some $800 million into skill and workforce development and such. And then there's also the American Rescue Plan, which again created something called the Good Jobs Challenge, which again funneled some $500 million, not only into training programs, but also workforce support. Sometimes we need childcare. Sometimes we need some extra assistance to ensure our folks, get to work on time. So, we've had significant federal action. But let's talk about where we are right now in Georgia in terms of clean energy jobs. Well, right now, Georgia ranks 14th, y'all, in the country for solar jobs, and that's a 10.6% increase over years past. And jobs in the U.S. grew by 3.8% in 2022, led by clean energy. Okay, and in 2022, there were 80,710 jobs that can be aligned with clean energy opportunities in the state of Georgia and such. Again, more increases there as well, and even beyond the federal action that we talked about. Again, some $800 million devoted directly towards workforce development and such. Even beyond that, there's been private spending, which is bolstered the federal investment, and then this combination of federal and private spending has added nearly 300,000 jobs since the introduction of the Inflation Reduction Act, and that's 8.1 million total jobs total, and that spans the gambit from wind to solar, again to building technologies. Now, Georgia's not exactly the leader in job creation. Again, California's out there, and so is Virginia, and number 11. But Georgia's certainly catching up. Again, laying out some facts here to provide a basis for further discussion. Again, talking about EVs, in the past 2 years, makers of electric vehicles and suppliers have put into place more than 40 projects in Georgia, again with some 28,400 jobs announced, amounting to $22.7 billion in investment. Okay, again we're looking at Kia and Hyundai, and now also Ravinia. Hyundai Motors Group is going to invest some $5.8 billion for supply chain and for power chain down in Savannah. Ravinia, close to Atlanta, is going to invest 5.8. Tremendous investments, which turn into job opportunities. There's also supply chain opportunities there as well, in terms of batteries and other support as well. Georgia, believe it or not, is the second highest state in the U.S. with new private sector clean energy project investments announced, which were in part funded by IRA. Some 22 projects, okay, that amounted to 16,900 jobs. Okay, and this includes the new facilities for solar, such as the Q-Cell facility in Bartow. And believe it or not, since some of our out of Atlanta districts are prospering as well. The 11th district in Georgia, for instance, the Northwest, has got 7.8 billion. And that's believe it or not, that's the 5th largest congressional district in the country to receive that sort of investment and such. And lastly here, Georgia, the EVs industry is just explosive growth, as Keisha pointed out. Some 30 EV related projects, some 18,000 jobs in 2020 and in Barron County and such, $962 million in powertrain facilities, battery technology, etc. In 1 year since this IRA has been in place, again, some 700, which funnels some $730 billion into the economy. There's been 270, nearly 300 new clean energy projects, and with an additional 1.32 billion from private sector, resulting in 86,000 new jobs. And guess what, Letitia? 50,000 of those jobs are dedicated towards EVs. Y'all, Georgia and the rest of the country is on fire. Significant investments from the federal government, significant investments from private industry as well, and such, lifting up, retrofitting plants, creating jobs. It's a good time to be in Georgia. It's a good time to be in the South. It's a good time to be part of this renewable energy movement.
Garry, thank you. Thank you for just the stats, right? The stats and the facts, and how all of those numbers and percentages and investments create stories, right? Create stories of people being able to support their family,
Right.
Create stories of people living in healthier environments, create stories of just the energy and the pride that comes from building out the quality of life of your overall community. And that's happening in Georgia. That's right. Very much happening. Absolutely. Based off of all that you have shared. So if anyone was doubting that we were on the map, that we're on the list, we are. There's intentionality around the solutions, and they are not aspirational. They are happening right now.